Okay, so this is part 4 of this tutorial series. We have seen how to download a YouTube video, how to extract the text out of it. And now this is the trickiest part. So what we are going to see now is, in this part, is how to translate this AI video. So for this, we are going to, of course, let's dive in and see what we are going to need. Let's just make a translate audio.py Python script. For this, we need PyDub in order to for the audio segmentation. We will see it later on. Install PyDub. This is of course that was quick from PyDub. Import audio segment. We will also need deep translator and OpenAI. I will just import both. So pip install OpenAI and then deep translator. I will tell you why. And what we also need is, of course, ElevenLabs. And also we also need pip install ElevenLabs. We also need python.m to be able to, of course, have the API keys. Well, so this is for sure something which is straightforward, I would say. We will just begin. So what we need is from .env import load.env. We also need the ElevenLabs client to import the ElevenLabs method. And also we need from the ElevenLabs, we need the voice settings. And for now, this is enough. We need, of course, OpenAI API key equals OS. So we need actually import OS and get env OpenAI API key. We also need voice sample path. Actually, we will not clone any voice for now. I will show you this later on. But most importantly, which is of course something important, we need the LLM. We need to call the LLM, and this is OpenAI .open. We didn't import OpenAI yet, so this is import the OpenAI library, and of course we need the client OpenAI. I mean the class. So for now, we will begin with, we will skip the environment part. Actually, we need something which is like not in extractions, rather you need it here. So that and here we need, what do we need? Things like OpenAI ElevenLabs API key, and we need also this one, and we also need, yeah, this is enough for now, and we will see how to do it. But now there's Google Translate, which is actually, we need a text and then source and target source lang, let's say, and target language. Why I'm doing this? Because if you don't have any OpenAI API key, or you want to save money, you can use this. This works well. So we can actually use both. If you want your translation to be, let's say, very low cost, because ElevenLabs costs some money, you can just try to save money and use Google Translate. If you want a better quality, or want to be more flexible, you can, of course, use. You can also use OpenAI. So this is the Google Translator. Actually, I didn't import the library yet. So from the Translator, import Google Translator, and this is Google Translator. Source equals source lang, and then target equals target language. Okay, so let's continue with this one, and here I've changed target language with target lang to be consistent, and then we will translate the text, and of course, if translated that strip, we will return translated, and exception as e, we will print f Google Translate failed. And of course, we will for sure make this error appear. Then we will also make another method, translate or GPT translate briefly. Then here what we need is the text, the source lang, and the target lang. And this is, of course, we can argue that we are building agents. Actually, this could be compared to agents, because what is an agent is an independent method which is able to perform some task where whenever this task is automatically prompted to achieve it. Achieve the task. And the definition isn't accurate, of course, but this is the general idea of this. For this, we need a system prompt. And this system prompt is, of course, something like this. You are a professional translator. translator. The translated sentence must be exact with no loss of meaning. If you do use GPT-4.1, this important statement is important. Avoid adding explanations or extra context. This is first important thing. Also important, if the input is empty, don't say anything. You must return an empty string. So, okay, this is, of course, I have experienced the fact that sometimes segments can be empty and Chat GPT or GPT answers with something which is you didn't provide any text, please provide something, and this is why I came with this important statement in the system prompt. Then we need the user prompt, and this is, of course, translate the following sentence from, let's say here, source language to target lang. Be brief and accurate. Then what we need also is this important statement. If the source language is empty, don't say anything. You must only return an empty string. F source lang, and of course here you can just use this or just say something like result or target language. Here the goal is to show the LLM what to output, and this is here target lang and 2 points to show that this is awaited here. This should be filled with the translation. Then, of course, the response should be something like this, equals LLM chat completions create, and the model could be one of your choice. Let's say GPT-4.1. The messages equal, then we do have here the role. The role here is a system. The content is, of course, is should be dictionary. The content is the system prompt. And then what we have is also the role, and our role is a user, and the content is of course something like user prompt. Then we do have the temperature equals 0, 0. Why 0? Because to avoid creativity, to avoid anything, to make sure that our friendly GPT is not hallucinating, etc. So then we can also put max tokens, let's say 120, to make it enough to leave some freedom. But I don't think that this is longer than 120 tokens. Yeah, so response, return, of course, the response, return the response that choices 0, and then dot message dot content, and then strip, of course. So this is more than enough, I would say. Then what we need is some orchestrator. Save, let's say save translate, and underscore here, translate 8. And what we need is, of course, input our text as input, then source lang, which in our case is English, and target lang is, let's say, French. And yeah, so we are good to go in this case. Translated equals, I prefer to use GPT. I personally, you can switch that, it's up to you, but I would prioritize using GPT for my case. And then source lang equals, yeah, this is source lang, source language. Okay, we can also do it like this, and target lang, of course, which is clear enough. Then if translated, and translated dot strip, this should return translated. Print falling back to Google. I mean, this is of course else to Google Translation. And here we will return Google Translate, which is free for free. I mean, the API text source lang equals source lang, target lang. Let's check this out. Yes, so target lang equals target. I'm not really consistent here. You can, of course, always define the keys, the arguments as you wish. Typing, I didn't do it to be quicker. Yeah, so here it's always recommended to instantiate this. And what else could be missing? So this is for now good to go. And yeah, so this is then what we do have is, of course, we need to translate the segments. So the segments, what we need is the input JSON path, and the path for this is extractions. I forgot the equals sign. Extractions segments dot JSON. Then the source lang in our case is English, and the target lang is, of course, here in our case French. Then we will first of all read with open input JSON path. We use only read mode. Then encoding, always good to, nice to have UTF-8 as F. Data equals JSON dot load F. Did we import JSON? Not yet. So we need to import JSON. And of course, what we also need is to have these segments translated. Segments, we can define this as an empty list, and we will iterate for segment in data. Let's see this again. So we do have, what we have is segments. So we need this key, and then this key contains a list of other keys, data. In segments, we need the original text. Original text equals to segment, and here the key is text. Then we translated text equals save translate original text. We have the source lang, then the target lang, and we also need segment text French is equal. So we are basically creating a new key in the JSON data file, translated text, and translated segments dot append segment. This is it. Then what we will do is, with open, again, extractions and slash translated segments.json. We will use the write mode, and the encoding is equals to UTF-8, and as F, of course, this is something, JSON.dumps, and we'll use rather dump translated segments, then F, then ensure ASCII equals false, and our indent as usual is equals to true. Then print, just to confirm that the operation has successfully terminated, or has been successful. Translated segment save to translated segments.json. What else is needed? We just need to return the translated segments. All right, so this returns, of course, the list. Let's try this out. Let's just give it a try. If name equals name, we can just translate segments, put in exactly what we have here, or just leave it like this. So just let's give it a try and see what happens. This is, of course, taking some time since it needs to. I could actually make some debugging in order to see what is going on. But just to remind you, we do have almost how much segments? I would say actually we do have around 100. This looks like 100 segments if ID starts from 0. Exactly, we have exactly 100 segments. This depends on the computational time. But yeah, this is almost straightforward. And of course, in the next steps, we can always start with brainstorming about what to do next. So the next step, of course, consists of generating the text-to-speech. So you can imagine, after having achieved the translation, the next step consists of taking this. So this has been translated, and you can see, alors, bienvenue dans ce nouveau tutoriel. So welcome to the new tutorial. Today I'm going to walk you through the steps in order to be able to just make the right aujourd'hui, je vais vous guider à travers les étapes afin de pouvoir simplement faire le bon choix. This should be actually stop at bon because we have configuration and configuration, enfin, setup is configuration in French. And afin de traduire ce toute vidéo contenant de la parole à l'aide de l'IA. Bon. So this is not exact the translation. You can always think about taking the whole text and mapping and stuff like this. But, you know, guys, this is, I mean, for such a use case, or even for a YouTube video, this is totally fine. I personally didn't have any major issue with that. It's always clear that this is, I personally don't need that much precision. If you do need so, I advise you to translate the whole text and then map the sentences. Or the segments. Okay, so this being said, the next step would be to, of course, translate the whole, create the speech which uses the French language, or at least the sentences resulting from the translation. This is so far so good for this part. Thank you for following. And of course, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask your question. In the next part, what we are going to see is to see how to use ElevenLabs in order to generate the speech. And of course, this should be a very important part number 5. Why? Because we are going to see some important considerations, especially with regards to timing, the duration, and the speed of the speech, which can affect the case where one could have more than enough timing in order to fill the gap, in order to avoid having so much silence, or if the speech should be actually quick enough in order to avoid being out of the time, or out of the difference between the start and end originating from the original video. So let's say this lasts I don't know what 31 minus 24 means, should be around 7 seconds, and this could actually last 7.5 seconds. The trick here is to speed up the speech in order to enable it to fit in the predefined and start and end timing. Otherwise, the way around is to actually slow the speech, but you can't slow too much because slowing would affect the quality of the speech. This is also according to ElevenLabs documentation. So what I'm trying to show you in the next part is how to make it actually optimize it for your need. I have tried several setups. This was also a little bit expensive since I was trying to since I was running so much or making so much runs to see what is the optimal choice for most of the videos. The information you will get is really would save you so much time. So don't miss the part number 5, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments, your likes, and your subscription in my channel. Thank you so much, and see you in the next part.